happened that I like, right? But a lot of people won't like. It's Oscar Duarte, Miguel Madueno. Regis Prograis is out of the fight. He had an injury or whatever happened. I don't really fully know, but it doesn't matter. That fight's off. I think this is a fight because these are kind of two brawlers. Duarte is with Robert Garcia. I see a little bit of why am I blanking on his name? Marcos Maidana.
All right.
Oscar Duarte, but not at the same level. But I see Robert doing that thing he did with Maidana where you take a brawler and a puncher and just adding a tiny bit, but not trying to be like, hey, go on your back foot and move. Like he's just adding tiny things to a guy that doesn't change the temperament. Maduno's a real puncher. I think he's got 28 KOs and like 31 wins. This is off the top of my head. Maybe I'm wrong. And we know what he's going to do. He's going to be physical. He's going to be rough. At times he has mental lapses, but he's a fighter. This is a sneaky fight of the year candidate. It might not be a sexy matchup leading in, but I think this is a real fight because you got two guys who have a temperament of just wanting to fight a guy.
Yeah, potentially, I think it's better than the Regis fight. Uh, Regis, I was a little worried for it because he was coming off three knockdowns in his last three fights, and stylistically, it was going to be tough with Oscar Duarte. Oscar Duarte is going to be in your face. Oscar Duarte is coming off a very good win, I believe, in Riyadh. And then Miguel Madueno, I think he somewhat overperformed against Justin Paulo, who's also has a great fight this weekend against Rachmanov. So he's a very good 140 pounder, the same as Duarte. I like Oscar Duarte a lot, and I think this is going to be. We just saw a great fight, right, against um, two Mexicans with Angel Fierro, and we have Pitbull Cruz. Sometimes, stylistically, we can have something similar here, where you have two Mexicans that battle, and they just seem like they have pride and they rise to the occasion. So, like you said, I echo that sentiment. I think it's a great fight.
Also think like sometimes like with Duarte, I wouldn't say it's a hangover, but it's a hangover adjacent where you're going to fight a big name former champion that might get you to another level. And now you're fighting a guy that's equally as dangerous, but the name isn't. And now you're carrying the show. Now you're doing 50 million interviews as opposed to Regis doing a lot of the interviews. Midwayno's probably not going to do as much. There is like a really, and people hate it when I use this word trap fight to it. This
That's
guy's
true.
win. He's very dangerous, but a lot of fans are going to be like, oh, this is an easy fight for Oscar Duarte. He's got this one. And Robert and them are such good coaches. I know they won't say that to him and they're going to keep him focused. But fighters hear that stuff and it can make a fight week much harder when this I think Duarte, even though he's the favorite, he would have gone in thinking he's the underdog. He's got something to prove. Now he's got to keep that mentality with a guy who I think is bringing that mentality to the fight on 10 days notice.
I think it's a harder fight. Yeah, I would. It's absolutely. I think it's a harder fight. I was very confident in Oscar Duarte against Regis, and I'm not so confident with Miguel Madueno. I think he could definitely overperform here stylistically for the two of them. Miguel Madueno is big.
He's big, he's a puncher. His losses haven't aged bad. Steve Claggett is a really good fighter. People just
Very
never
good.
watch him fight. I'm trying to think. Keyshawn Davis,
Keyshawn Davis.
yeah,
Yeah.
really good. And then Jezreel Corrales outboxed him in a fight I never got to see live, but I saw
Yeah.
some clips of it. But um, those are his three losses, and those are the guys. Those are top 10 fighters. And Duarte has two really good wins. Bektir Akhmedov, who always thinks he won his fight because he like loses 65, 60
Yeah.
fights. He's never
Yeah.
got.
Against very good competition. Abuelo he fought and Mario Barrios. All close fights. He's world level. So Oscar
Kenny
Duarte is right
Sims,
there.
no, he's
Yeah.
right there.
Kenny
And
Sims. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like, and then JoJo, JoJo's kind of hit a rough stretch, but I think that we found out there's a certain tier of guy that doesn't beat JoJo. So he's in that level, but we don't really know what Duarte is other than he fought Ryan Garcia and he got stopped, and then he trained with Robert Garcia and he has a big following, it seems like. So this is going to be like the truth chamber for Duarte of where he can go in this division.
Yes, I'm a little bit surprised because I believe on the same card Kenny Sims is fighting. I think that would have been an easy fight to make, Oscar Duarte, Kenny Sims, but didn't happen so much.